All right, so welcome back to another scene for This Life, the Get Offenders game set in Duluth, Minnesota, on the Sept of the Hearth's Fire, where after a protracted battle out east of the city, I believe, west of the city, I'm not even sure at this point, protracted battle with the, east, with the veritable army that serves under the Black Blade, and finally at least a brief duel with the Black Blade himself, people are trickling back home. -1. Charlotte was not able, by time they got back to the Sept, to get into the Hut of the Dead under her own power. Thankfully, Charlotte was not alone in returning. And between McDuncan, the Tail Singer, the Lawless, Charlotte and the body of Alice were slowly conveyed, carefully conveyed, into the hut. Now Charlotte was hardly putting off the waterworks till they got home, and truth be told, between the pain that she's suffering physically from a very similar wound to the one that sent Alice back to her homeland, and the pain of losing another friend, because what's one more? She hasn't really come back out again. Not that you're sure she really could, but she doesn't seem to want to. She's just been in there, sat next to the body, at least for a while, kind of cradling it and just ugly crying in an open and broken and just hurt kind of way that really suits the kind of loss just piled on top of a pre existing mountain of loss. But yeah, she's still in there and she's still crying, but sooner or later the hiccuping sobs have calmed themselves down, if only because it hurts a lot. So she's settled to the point of a red face, a lot of tear streaks, and careful hitched breathing, but hasn't stopped laying a hand on the shoulder or the hand, even in the hair of the now inert Alice as she's laid out, leaving room for the people who, well, would be doing their jobs to actually finally potentially clean the poor thing up.
Um, After a while, the small figure of Lily Trimson emerges inside. She doesn't say anything. She just stares down at the dead body of Alice, and she just kind of slowly picks up her the kind of kit she brings with her. She kind of passes by Charlotte and will begin actually cleaning the body. Outside, as the door flicks open, I also see a large Krynos form sitting cross-legged on the floor, not right beside the tent, but around the hut, almost to one of the sides, just watching as the world goes by. The two Fianna are sitting on the porch. They're sharing these two. They're sharing a drink. There is two or three of the Get lingering outside. These would be Ragnar, Abel, Leaf is there, and let me just see who else is actually here. He's not here yet. Wildfire. For now, it's just Lily who's cleaning the body.
And Charlotte does kind of finally sit back some. And it's one of those things where she's put out all the energy she had. She's just kind of sitting there and not wanting to leave. So she stays kind of set out of the way, leaving enough room for Lily to move around and do what she needs to do, but just holding the rapidly cooling hand and just staring and pleading and crying.
Lily doesn't say much. She Just stares down at the body, takes hold of the wounds, assesses them, slowly stitches them back together, slowly, very delicately, very patiently. She's actually a very eerie companion because she's just silently working, you know. What makes this odd for Charlotte is Lily is not calm, it's just very dazed looking.
For what
It
it's
doesn't
worth, this is one of the few times she appreciates the silence.
just before we come back to Charlotte, upon arriving on the sept, like fuck, I need to know how to say her name. Ilona, her name that she, you arrive and you get greeted. You get greeted by Neri, who will, give you a surprising hug because it's family, and although she is a bit awkward about it. You're walking to the public housing with her when you spot the procession outside this kind of small hut, because the hut of the dead is not that far away, ironically, from the public housing. So you see a small procession of people out there. Two people are sitting on the steps sharing a drink, and it's kind of odd. You know what I mean? You're like, what the fuck?
The fuck is this? One of the
Uh,
Jarls die or something?
no, one of the Adrian runes has fallen.
Huh.
This is where the dead are taken care of before we conduct gatherings of departed.
And it quirks a brow. We.
Well, Galliards, generally they get tend to their own, we tend to our own. But it's a
Huh.
place where people can show the dead respect. To get
Out
a
west, we give them back to the sea.
to nod, to get two things different here, they burn them on the sea, on the river.
Huh. Strange.
Just shrugs. Some officials will be here, so they're one of. You point over at Wildfire, this big, huge braided-looking fella. That's a senior fellow docs over there.
I know how to be invisible when I need to be.
He's Wildfire. His name is.
Huh.
Peach him for torture, or so the gossips say.
Wrinkles her nose.
He's a get a Fenris. Look over, smirking.
They do love to take things.
There's a few Fianna over there. I believe the ruins packmate Charlotte is in with her. She's
Be
another.
expected.
She's another Philodox. Ditzy thing.
Tribe.
Glasswalker.
Ugh.
Just nods. They all work together anyway. Just nods to herself.
Well, I can see why.
Oh, they're very cunning around here, cousin.
To get a Fenris. Cunning.
No, the Glasswalker. She'll look over, smirking.
I mean, this is their land, so to speak.
But there is. So, it is, but there are a few that are far more conniving. Any means necessary type deal. There have been a few, from what I hear, if you believe the stories of us being cut down just by the worm.
She doesn't say anything.
Granted, we both know what the family business is, but, well, you know how it is.
I'd rather not war with pots and kettles.
Just keep your eye out on the one Galliard known as Carves the Path. His pack has a tendency to get a bit violent when they don't get their own way.
Glasswalkers and get a Fenris. Typical.
Nods. There's one of our sisters here. She's not in my pack. Her name's Calliope. She's a, former daughter of Itzame.
One of the ice raiders.
Nods.
We knew about them. It was kind of a lark hearing about people who didn't use the sea.
There is some business we'll have to inform you in on concerning our tribe, but that can be done when you meet Melanthe. Another one of us, a Theurge. Bright little thing from Greece. From the actual homeland.
Like you.
Yes, although I was born on Cyprus. She was born on the actual Greek islands. Which makes her, and there he throws up her hand so gossipy, that much more pure in some of the eyes of our sisters.
Oh, I'm sure that she was swaddled by Athena's own hands.
Well, she's a Stratinoke, so her bloodline is quite pure, as they like to say.
As the driven snow, third eyes and extra toes and everything.
You should at least watch the procession. It'll be good to see us at least supporting people. Besides, there are some people here you should meet. She starts to walk idly, still holding a cup of wine in her hand. Because fuck it, it's Neri.
They're not fans of the whole Cleus are to be seen and not heard idiom.
As long as you're respectful, don't go around spouting. Besides, Philodoxes here are usually well respected.
If I stab people, it's going to be to their face.
And at least you'll be appreciated by the Fenrir and the Fianna. She points at the Fianna, the three of them, MacDuncan included.
Sour milk face.
Yeah, and Neri and fucking her cousin will start walking over. For MacDuncan, you're outside with these two boys. They're passing like shine between the two of them. When MacDuncan's over there, like Steve, like Quinn will just hand over the bottle towards him.
And of course, you'll accept this gracious gift, thoroughly chugging it down. Is it the usual shit, Tona?
It's a bit lighter because you don't want to get too fucking smashed on the sad occasion,
Oh,
essentially.
no, of course, but it's still.
Yeah.
Resist toxin is active. Yeah, he takes
it's
still.
It's a bit more bitter than the last one. The last one was a lot more smoother.
Yeah, and he oh fucking and that one's still got a fucking kick to it.
Quinn will nod. Ah, well, you don't want these people getting too drunk, otherwise, well, it's not one of our people. We're not holding a fucking wake, are we?
Oh no. I understand. It's one of those.
Besides, have you fucking seen it in there? I mean, fucking grim.
No, I haven't.
She's fucking crying.
I'm not surprised, to be honest. Always consider her to be a crier.
Steve nods sagely. Hi. It's the blonde hair.
Aye. Blonde hair, rosy cheeks, nose. Aye.
Big thick hips. Oh yeah, big thick hips. Crier.
Aye.
You can tell. Yep, crier.
Aye. Childbirth and hips they are.
Yep.
And the thighs to go with it. Aye. Oh.
See, they've got the thighs because they've got so much, voluptuous feeling, so they just start crying.
That, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Telling you, my wife's a crier. Quinn looks over with this like, what?
Oh, is she now?
Oh, I cries about a lot of things.
Oh, see, Agnes doesn't cry very much.
Ah, but they always cry when they don't let you know. You could be here chatting to us, and Agnes could be having a cry now.
Oh, she probably could be. Oh, aye, she probably could be. But the only time I've seen her cry is 2 times, actually. 2 times. Once, she was so happy that she managed to glass this woman from across the fucking bar. It's a brilliant, cracking shot. I think she was a wee bit drunk. So fucking drunk, she just burst into tears. You know, the whole, oh, I don't know why I'm crying, kind of crying.
Steve will nod. Quinn just looks over at Steve. Helena cries. Oh, yeah. No, she cried. He just goes, huh. Looks over at MacDuncan. I mean, I don't know. The women folk are strange to me.
Oh, don't be saying that, Gwyn.
Oh, and I mean, points at his mangled face.
What?
Sadly, the only women I get are the fetish cat women who stare at me. It's quite uncomfortable.
No, don't be saying that.
They generally look at me like that, points over at the black fucking Furies who are just staring at the bunch of Fianna. Do you know what I mean?
Just turns, has a look, looks back. I think they like you.
Steve waves. Neri and their cousin are waved up by cousin Steve, the big hairy one. The black-haired hairy one, not the ginger.
It's not the ginger hairy one. Hey, oh, it's one of them. Oh, don't. Oh, Quinn, are you, Quinn, hold on a minute. You telling me you don't have a woman?
No.
No.
Nope.
Right. There's just. It doesn't say anything, just nods. There's a look, Tona, to Steve. Steve knows the look. They know what they must do.
They're so loud.
That's the Lawless. They are Fianna Pack. They occasionally turn up on Sept. Cause a lot of trouble when they do. I don't know. The Big Red. I think he's a new Galliard. Follows around the Trollop Maria.
I'm not one to mark other ways, but no great pyre, no drums.
It's coming.
Warrior died.
It's coming. Give them from what I hear, the Lily Trimbenson is doing her work. She likes to work in silence. And she's cleaning a body.
Don't tell me they at least found the coins.
That's probably what she's doing.
Well, at least whoever it was.
From what I understand, the body's not even cold yet.
Fine.
Just look over it. Don't be so judgmental yet, cousin. You haven't heard the Get Sting?
Don't suppose I have. They'd been replaced for a time when I changed.
You point over to the mist that's forming. It's coming. They sing in the mist when the warriors fell. The Alpha himself often leads it.
The only tales I know about of Get are that they're sturdy but impetuous.
Perhaps you should go find out. She points over at Bones, who's just fucking sitting there like a sentinel, you know what I mean?
I've been on many raids. He would rip both of my arms off and use me as the drum.
He would. That's a menace. Bones. Nurun.
Suicidal as most their kind go.
Nods. He's in the pack
Huh.
with one of our sisters, actually.
What?
Cora. A bright little energy ball.
For shame.
Just look over. Cora believes that she can teach and heal people through her word. She's good at rune. But she took Get in her pack. And Fianna.
Judgmental Black Fury is judgmental.
Neri just takes a sip of her wine. My Alpha is a follower of Siento, cousin. She believes that change is necessary. We must be arbiters, not just wrathful people. Shrugs.
There's only wrath for people who defile wild places.
Shrugs idly. As the mist starts forming, like properly now, MacDuncan and probably Char's going to hear it as well. And Ilona will hear the big thunderous echoing voice. Like coming through the mist, singing, and it's echoed back across by different voices.
Oh, it's starting, lads. It's starting.
Yep. They've probably got the boat ready.
Right.
You ever see one of these before?
Not to get one, no.
Stick around. It's quite something. And inside, Charlotte, once the voices hit, Lily will stand up, carefully begin wrapping Alice's body over, folding it to the point where she takes out a small blade and places in Alice's hands, closing it so the runic blade just slides down Alice's torso perfectly.
To be honest, she'd probably help if she could really stand properly. But as she can't, she just lets go of the hand finally, and just lets Lily take it. Though she probably sets a hand over on the wrapped portion of the body as she continues working, just leaking.
And eventually, Bones will come in and stick his head in the door. The big Krynos head will in, and he'll just say, "It's time," and stick his head back out. And Lily will turn to Charlotte facing her for the first time. She'll kneel down in front of Charlotte. Those big, deep, cold steel eyes will just say to her, "You need to let go of her hand, and you need to stand up."
And she does. She makes the eye contact, and there's a pause as she just processes it all for a second, and finally nods, not decisively per se, but it's enough to convey an amount of understanding. And fuck it, she's just gonna spend again for resist pain so she can get up. So she takes a moment, kind of closes her eyes, finds any little bit of centering she can get, and once the gift finally fires off, starts slowly picking herself up out of the chair. Probably glances back apologetically as she's stained it, but gets herself up and takes
Lily,
a second
again,
to kind of suck in the breath and pull her shoulders up.
Lily's eyes are like steel, very much like her mother's. They're eerily similar to her mother's eyes, and she'll say, "You need to not cry when we're burying her." You need to stand there, strong. When she is burned and gone, then you may cry. But not one tear should fall from your cheeks until then. For everyone to see you weep.
There's a stiffer, but more decisive nod this time. Again, she kind of sucks in her breath and holds it for a second just to kind of remember how to stand up properly, pull herself up, finally reaches up to wipe her face.
She won't say again. Lily always sounds like cold, emotionless. It's not for you. It is for Alice. The last thing she hears before she leaves this world is not a woman weeping, but instead the songs of her people.
There's another stiffer. Again, she's kind of getting it back, putting on the pull yourself upright and look the part mask, as it were. And again, just kind of rubs across the eyes and tries to. You can't really will down grief, but she's trying. She's trying to at least find a point of composure.
And yeah, Leaf, Wildfire come in. They heft Alice's body up very carefully on the kind of the long wooden plank that they use in the Hall of the Dead, and begin to carry her out. As for our Black Fury and the Fianna, the big two of the Get come in and carry the body out, that's displayed in several different runic markings, runic things showing the symbols of life, death, wolf, a dread wolf. They lead her down to this great lake and kind of set her body into this small miniature longship that they kind of made, that's particularly made in a room passes. Water, as this, they're beginning to set up slowly before that.
Duncan will first of all see what the other two Fianna are doing. If they're, kind of just watching, standing, or whatever, like if they change position at all, just kind of wanted to follow what they're doing.
I mean, the two boys follow the procession, and they kind of sit down out of the way of the mainly Get procession at this point, and they just watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he'll pretty much do the same. Like take that few steps closer to them to see it, because it's something that's supposed to be seen, and he'll remain standing though behind the two of them.
Mm-hmm. What about the Black Fury?
She knows enough to stay the fuck out of people's way right now. She is a Cleith, and she does not know these people.
Yeah, Neri
This
just kind of
is
stands. Yeah,
important.
Neri kind of stands beside your arms folded, just watching the whole thing. You know what I mean? She kind of takes a very protective stance, so she's in front of you essentially. And Charlotte, what are you doing?
Honestly, at this point, she's pulled herself together and is following as much as she's allowed to. She's glancing to Lily occasionally for cues. Even like a subtle glance or touch is enough to send her this way, that way, tell her to stop, tell her she can stand closer, but she's using Lily as a gauge and just very carefully pulling in slower breaths, letting out slower breaths. You can almost hear the counting in her head as she's using it to kind of pace her breathing and keep herself mellow enough to go through the whole thing as she's been told.
Eventually, you do actually get moved. Lily lightly doesn't shove you, but she just lightly fucking slowly like this way, you're going over here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
Guide.
it takes a tiny touch to get her attention, and she is not questioning, she's not fighting it. She can at least be respectful.
Two figures arrive for both. Yeah, it's both Siggy for the newcomer. These are definitely Get Offenders just by the way they walk and the way they are. These are elder Get Offenders. You know what I mean? Especially the old man. Like, he's covered in battle scars. Even some are on the side of his face. Siggy stands over Alice's body, and I mean, with a great heft, just hooks the whole fucking wooden board onto the longship and sets about taking it apart herself and setting up the thing to be burned. You know, takes very careful pride in doing it, and the Alpha will turn and look at everybody. As the newcomer, this is the first time meeting the Sept Alpha. This motherfucker's old, but he radiates a very powerful energy off him, covered in battle scars, and I mean his beard is thick and powerful. Like, this man radiates Get Offenders. You'll say then, today we sending one of the most fiery ones of our people home. Today we honor her and her sacrifice. It's a very different thing to stand facing certain death and we among our people, not just among my own, among all of you here, both from the Black Fury, Glasswalker, and Fianna I can already see and smell. Nation asks a lot and takes a lot, but it takes a true courage to stand in the face of certain death. So, I want you all of you to watch. I want you all to see what this nation will ask of you. And know, this is the sacrifice one of you made to do the right thing. What's expected of y'all. Gaze upon Fenrir's fury. You'll touch Alice's cheek very softly, very slowly. And close her fists around the blades to the point where they actually just firmly now, bam, grasp onto it. And he'll turn as we send Alice Fenrir's fury, Riefenstahl, back to you. Back to your halls, father. With Siggy pushes the body out, pushes the fucking small longboat out, and slowly the fire goes up. As the get all, like, the Alpha leads saying in this deep Nordic language, and all the Fenrir around you echo it. Now, I actually put, because the fuck it is very similar to the Warduna song anyway, so this is what they're all like, essentially, with the Alpha leading. As you can hear the war drums beginning to bang as the flames go up and up and up. And how is each of you reacting? Because this is a pretty big ceremony. Bigger than Juno's, actually, for Charlotte as well. Because Alice was an Adrian.
Yolana's definitely not taken aback per se, but there's so much that is both alien and familiar about everything going on. If anything, she's just academically curious, but not dumb enough to say anything in this moment.
McDuncan stood behind the two, really more seasoned Fianna. Still, of course, standing. There's just that moment, this as the drums hit, where you can't help but just straighten out his back a little bit, taking on that posture. Because man, that is fucking something. And almost just instinctively, just puts his hand, just taps across his heart, just that little tap. 1, 2, because she did. She took the stand. Not only for him, but for Charlotte as well. And that's something you got to give credit for. He doesn't join in, but there's a nod.
Yeah, Charlotte too doesn't know the song well enough to try to join it. Nor does she have really voice enough to carry it strongly anyways. No, as Alice is sent out, she's got her hands clutched together in front of her to keep from fidgeting, from doing anything else with them. She doesn't know what to do with her fucking hands right now. She just clasps them tightly together, and if anyone was paying close attention, they'd probably be able to tell that she periodically just, no shit, sucks in her breath and holds it as her throat kind of makes those choking motions, but pulls herself up and watches. Fire kind of dancing, the reflection in her eyes, just watches the ship go out. and keeps holding her breath so she doesn't crack.
And eventually, each person will depart. A few linger and sit down to watch the fire burn. Really, they're not disturbed. Lily sits down to watch it on her own. She doesn't, makes no move. Leaf will watches Alpha for a bit, but then the rest kind of go back more or less to kind of the feasting halls. Like Neri and the rest, even the Fianna start walking off as well. I don't know what Charlotte's doing, but some go to sit down. The Alpha goes to sit down at one of the feasting halls as well.
And Charlotte was told to watch. She just kind of stands there, zoned out, staring, trying not to cry, and probably won't think to move until the fire's either guttered out or someone touches her or does something to pull her out of it.
Yeah, eventually, I imagine Leaf will just loop an arm around you and just lead you very gently to the feasting hall, essentially.
Yeah, there's a startled glance at first and recognition, and she just leans her head on his shoulder and lets him lead her off. Just kind of autopilots.
You all sit down and presented food and wine and mead, and everyone is given it. And Neri will look over and whisper into her cousin's ear. They usually feast after. It's per tradition. It's rude to not,
I understand. We're not that different.
She nods. It's more educational to learn.
I know. I'd rather be in the Umbra or something.
It's not that long. You can leave when you want. She pats her hand.
At least they show some kind of reverence.
They do.
Mm.
She was an Adrian. Whatever my opinions on that was, where she was still an Adrian. To achieve that is respectful.
I expected them to be more bored. The stories aren't flattering.
They never are. She smirks, looking around.
Some eager-eyed crow's gonna catch me murmuring. I may as well go eat.
Nods. Good. The food here is nice.
How many crows are there anyway?
A number of them.
There's a large
Very
infestation out west as well.
Very vicious. Smirking. The beta is a crow.
Ugh. What is it about birds and latching onto a great wolf?
Because they don't have the strength to stand on their own. She just takes a sip of wine. Like, that's none of my business. You know what I mean?
All right, let's go eat and see what there is to see.
And the two Black Furies go and sit down at one of the tables, and the Fianna are walking with MacDuncan going, I told you it's something, isn't it? Quinn will say.
Oh, I know. To say I've never seen something like I know I've seen a good few. Don't get me wrong, I've seen my fair share already, but that was something about the crescendo that really gets to me,
Quinn will nod. The Adrian ones are usually the more thematic.
Oh, I imagine. Oh, I guess it gets bigger as you go up, of course.
We saw a few of them when we were over in their actual homeland. They were quite intense.
Oh, like that, or even more?
Bigger boats.
I imagine bigger boats, bigger waters.
Nods. We saw when an Alpha of a Sept died. Looks at Steve and he's like, aye, that was fucking something.
Holy shit. I imagine. I bet there was a big feast afterwards as well.
Oh, fucking table was. He just extends his hands like a fucking bow.
Well, that's definitely something.
Steve will turn to McDungan. To be fair, though, we were all invited, but it was considered a very normal funeral because there was only 5 fights at the end of it.
Only 5.
Only 5.
Only 5.
Only 5.
For an alpha of a sept.
I know. Very, very. See,
Is
he
he
wasn't. He wasn't in a room. No.
Oh,
He was a Thairge. See.
aye, but if you get there, you still got a god lot of fight in him.
Oh yeah. But we were
That's
told
fine.
no fighting. We were told no fighting. You see.
You were told no fighting.
By our Rye.
The Jackly
No.
not fight though.
Well, we fought, but we were told
Died.
not. You know. Yeah. There's fighting and then there's fighting. You know.
Of course. It wasn't. It's not like fighting. It's just fighting. Not the fighting. You know, when you go out,
No.
you don't go out. You go fighting
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, you give them a little love tap, yeah.
Yeah. It's out fighting, not fighting out fighting.
Oh, hey, yeah, no, fighting. Not fighting.
That's what I said. No, try. No, not at the funeral. You'll never do that at the funeral. It's disrespectful.
No. What? You didn't see Rides' funeral. Everybody was fighting.
No, I didn't. I've heard stories though.
That was a send-off as Steve sits down.
Oh, how many was that?
Oh, they're sure they burnt his body everywhere and we all danced around it.
I know that, but how many fights?
Oh, there was 12.
12. That's impressive.
Sure fucking looks over Quinn. You knocked out the Den Father, didn't you? I did.
Knocked out the Den Father. How'd you do it?
I headbutted him.
You headbutted him.
Fucking coddly pussy. I can drink just as much hard as you can. Then I headbutted him and he didn't.
Slam his hand on the table. Oh, the good old Glaswegian kiss. Personal favourite.
Steve will smirk. Aye, yeah.
Oh,
although Quinn did lose to the lupus, but that was not fair. He was cheating. Quinn will nod sage that he was.
How was he cheating?
He sat on me.
Well, it's not really cheating now.
He was in lupus when he sat on me, and he's the size of a fucking horse.
No. Aye, that's not cheating.
That's cheating.
My Den Father used to sit on me all the time. All the time, I'm telling you.
But there's a difference between sitting and fighting.
Oh, it's sitting and fighting, but you think I got sat? Are you saying, Quinn? Are you saying that I got sat on without a fight? That's what you're saying, laddie.
I'm saying there's a difference between sitting and fighting and sitting.
You know what? There's a difference between sitting, fighting, and fighting, sitting, fighting.
Exactly. Steve will nod. See, he gets it.
Because don't ever say that I was sat on while not fighting.
No, I didn't say that. I was saying there was a difference. I didn't say there's a difference when you did it. I was saying there's a difference in general.
Oh, that's right then. Sits down quite happily.
The three Fianna take a drink at the same time. There's just a sage drink. You know what I mean?
A sage nod between the three of them. Yeah. Blarney.
Yeah, eventually, Leaf sits Charlotte down, hand her a drink, and he sits there quietly, mutely. I don't know what you guys are doing, who you're trying to talk to. One thing for McD, Kieran is not here, but you did see him wander off, and he picked up a lot of booze when he was going. And for Charlotte, there are a few people here, yeah, that you would recognize. I don't know what the Black Fury is doing.
Okay. Just a few.
Just that note then. Before we move on to somebody else, McDuncan will lean over to Steve. Steve.
Hey, what?
Hey, Steve.
What is it? What?
Where's Kieran gone off to?
He does that whenever we lose somebody.
Oh, right.
He takes it hard, blames himself.
Poor lad.
Even though he never met her, he takes it hard whenever we lose somebody. So he goes off and he drinks.
I know. Aye. Do we know what day he's on yet, or is he on day 1 still?
No, it's day 2. So
Oh, it's day 2.
if he appears, be fucking ready.
Oh no, I'm always ready.
Nah, he'll go off drinking and do whatever. He does it all the time. Sure, he did it when we were over there. He just never was able to lose people. Just, throws up his hands.
Right, poor lad. You sure he'll be alright on his own?
He'd be fine. He'll probably punch a tree or something.
Alright. Right.
I'd say I've let Maria know, so she'll keep an eye on him.
Alright, I'll let Maria know. Right. Just kind of looks around for Maria.
Oh, she's there, yeah. She eventually appears. She's actually heading over towards Charlotte.
And he'll spot her and just kind of like she's going there. You know what? I'll leave that one for a minute.
They'll start crying. You don't throw his hands up like, what? You don't want that?
No, look, I can deal with one of them crying. Little Ditsy, I can deal with that. She'll cry, but Maria, oh Jesus.
Quinn on. I once walked in on Maria chain crying with her Fianna. That was terrifying.
Oh,
like they all just started crying for no reason. Like all of them.
Jesus.
Simultaneously, just bam, bam, bam.
I'd rather take me chances with some black spirals, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Just nod sagely.
Aye. Aye. No. Oh. One of them I can deal with. One.
But you should go. Hang on now, Mac. They all both turn at you. You're the Galliard. You're supposed to be over there. You're supposed to be over there.
Am I now?
Mm-hmm. They'll fold. The two of them fold their arms at the same time.
Okay.
Aye, you're the Galliard. You're the one meant to be singing grandiose tales of her tales and all that. So get over there.
I barely fucking knew her.
Socialize.
Socialize my fucking house.
You're supposed to come over there, hand on your heart. Hand on your heart, going, Charlotte, I'm sorry for your loss.
Alright. Oh, you're saying that I can't deal with this shite.
I'm saying it's your job, son.
Alright. Oh, look at me, you fucking. Alright. You watching this? You watching this? You fucking. It gets up.
Two Fianna lean back, clink glasses off one another.
And he'll turn around and just look to Quinn and Steve. Oh, yeah, fucking mangy fucking shites.
Have fun there, Sir Galliard. Do what you need to do. Steve, do your duty, Mac Duncan. Alistair.
Doing duty.
Put your hand on her heart. That always works when you do that. The ladies love that type of shit. Sensitivity.
Oh, don't that. Tell you what, Steve. I'm about to watch a master at work. As he'll just run his hand through his hair and begin striding.
Yeah, This is what's beside Charlotte essentially. Leaf the big fella is beside Charlotte. Wildfire's sitting off beside Bones. At least sitting on her own, eating quietly. I don't know what Charlotte's doing.
Charlotte has been handed a cup and she is autopiloting the cup because it's there, and you know what? If it's alcoholic enough, it might help her with the dry eyes thing that she's trying to maintain. So fucking hard. Because she's kind of got into this groove now. And now this is what she's focused on, besides thinking about it. Right up until someone breaks the peace, whether it is McDuncan or Maria. Inevitably, someone's going to be the trigger. Or at least sitting next to Leaf, she's pretty mellow.
Both at the same time.
Oh, God. Just being attacked by Fianna Galliards. Oh, Jesus.
So Maria takes one shoulder, and then McDuncan appears on the other shoulder.
Yep.
The real question is, who speaks first?
Well, first of all, whatever beverage she had, Charlotte, you don't even know how it got in your hand, but suddenly that glass is full again.
You're right. She really has no idea. She is sitting there, and the most obvious, barely composed, stiff posture you have ever seen in your life. She's still got the run through, like, idle bleeding going on her front and back. And she's maybe she's in shock. Just kind of glances up.
Yeah, Maria's sit down on the other side of her, taking Charlotte's hand.
McDuncan, of course, leaning over that little bit, not getting in her way or anything like that. We'll just lean on the table so she can clearly see his face, and there's got a pretty warm smile on it. There's something about that face, just it is just warming. And he reaches into his jacket pocket and with a little bit of a flourish pulls out a handkerchief and kind of holds it up to her with one hand, offering it to her.
Yeah, she just reaches out for it kind of slowly, and again, it's kind of that autopilot. Someone has offered a thing. You take the thing.
There we go. That's it. We don't want you sniffling now. Not now. Nor are you. It's the last thing we want.
Numb nod. The eyes start watering up. You've popped the top on it. You did it.
Right. There it is. You can use it for your eyes as well. Hey, don't worry. I've got another if you need it. Pulls out another one.
He just whips out another hanky.
Yep. Same flourish.
Maria just nods like, yeah, no, it'll be good for you, Charlotte. It's all right.
Just glances over. And yeah, she starts slowly melting down again. She can't go full sobs again. She just doesn't have the fucking oomph in her body right now. But she starts almost immediately snuffling and leaking tears. And yeah, trying to catch them with the handkerchief because, hey, it's in her hand. How'd that happen? But
there's not a lot of things that I understand, all right. But there is one thing that I know. Tears absolutely ruin mascara. That's the last thing you want now, isn't it, love?
She just looks up at him and looks so confused because as if makeup would survive any of her shifting. What?
Because he's just like, yep. It's just totally serious face.
She's still dazed. You have not gotten full waterworks. Doing pretty solid. She just looks kind of perplexed and really, really upset.
Oh.
Marie just gives her hand the rub and the pat.
Yeah, she gets her hand squeezed. It's almost an autopilot for reassurance, really. It works.
Trying to stay in mind for a night?
It's just, yeah, there's a rough nod. Glances back over. Can I?
Of course, I'll get the old bed set up for you.
She's mopping her face with that handkerchief again. The poor hanky. Kind of leans over to Maria like, am I allowed to cry at the table?
Looks over at McDuncan. I'd say she's allowed to cry at the table, yeah.
Well, I'd better hope so. Or else all these handkerchiefs are going to go to waste. Slowly opens the inside of his jacket, and you can see there's like about 6 pockets, all with different color handkerchiefs in.
Oh my god.
He did mention that you were going to need some handkerchiefs, so, he went out special and bought them for you.
I always prepare.
There's another one of those kind of 404 moments where it's like, went out and bought them special, but we drove back together. What? She's not hard to daze right now. But she has been given permission to finally cry, so she does kind of slump forward, like the elbows go on the table. The hands, like, the drink gets abandoned as the hands go up to her face, and she just... Yeah.
Like, let's get that out your way. I'll take that.
Yeah, Maria just kind of let's start fall backwards as well, so it's all graceful and ladylike.
It's not necessarily falling per se. She just kind of leans forward, like slumps so that, the elbows are on the table and her weight is on that, kind of leaning forward, taking some of the pressure off the rest of her whole body. And yeah, just the face goes in her hands.
That's it. Come on, you sit over here. Leaf, move out of the way. Leaf obediently moves out of the way,
Oh, poor Leaf.
scooches over. McDuncan probably plops at the other side of Charlotte.
Yup.
Ah, there you go. Puts the
Uh,
drink back in her hand. She's snuffling and crying.
Yeah, it's the strangest, weakest attempt to just kind of cry it out. I don't know if you've ever seen someone who's completely fucking exhausted like try to cry, but it's kind of piteous.
Come on, take that drink. Let's have a look at your pack.
Yeah, she takes another swig. God help her. I don't even know. No, she doesn't know, and I don't know what's in this cup. But she's taking a swig of it obediently because you know what? She's pretty sure it's helping. It might be helping. She really hopes it's helping.
MacD recognizes that. That's moonshine. That's the shine.
It's dangerously smooth.
Yeah, it is.
Then Maria will gently lift up Char's back and let out a "Whoo, fuck me."
Yeah, it is the weirdest thing. Getting hit in Krynos means, well, there's not really any damage to the shirt besides the staining, inevitably. But yeah, you pull it the back up and it's like, oh, through and through. That's not bad. That's not like a sucking chest wound. That's fine.
McDuncan doesn't look.
I'll go get Quinn. She just pat McDuncan on the shoulder. Will you make sure she does not
Does not
Just-
what?
doesn't fall over?
Ah, yeah, of course I will. Go
Just yeah, she gets up and Quinn looks over, sees Maria coming, and sucks in her breath. Like, I'm in trouble.
on. Does he look at McDuncan?
He does. He's like, you did this to me.
There's the slight, like, the kind of look of, yeah, yeah. But still, he will offer his hand for if Charlotte needs some more reassurance.
I mean, the hand gets offered, and she almost reflexively clutches it as soon as it's offered.
Like, that's a grip. That's a grip.
It is a grip.
That's
She's
a
got
grip.
a lot of strength, and she is not thinking or regulating right now.
I just like, yep, that's a grip. Just smile through it.
Thankfully, she doesn't squeeze that hard for too long, but periodically there's just kind of a squeeze that's meant to kind of reassure herself, and she's strength 4 now. It's one hell of a fucking squeeze.
It's all right. So yeah, he sits there. He's like, I can, thinking to himself, it's all right. The fingers, if they break off, they'll grow back. Don't worry about it. Don't even think about it.
No, but she does get into that cup, though, because it's there in her other hand. Thankfully, it means that eventually she's going to calm down some, because all she can kind of do is leak. Between the tears and the blood, you just kind of... gross.
Eventually, Quinn, Cousin Steve, and Maria come over. Quinn kneels down at the back of Charlotte and takes out a small little glass goblet and just gently presses it against Charlotte's back, and he'll put a guy's breath on that and heal the damage, 4 of it at least.
Significantly reduces, but
Mhm.
there's definitely the signs of silver scarring, kind of, as it knits back together. There's still that marked discoloration, that pale kind of knitted line.
Quinn will just spend, I could probably break another one off as well, so she's completely healed and just nod. Kneeling down, examining it, and Steve will awkwardly stand there like, okay, Maria.
I am helping.
No, Steve eventually sits down and puts his arm around Charlotte and just nods like, "It'll be all right, lass."
She just
Got-
kind of turns and looks over.
Got Alistair here. You've got Alistair here.
Hi.
It just, I mean, she's, at this point, she's sad and drunk, so it's just kind of like, I don't think it's ever alright, but sometimes it's better than other times.
Oh no, it's never all right. No, it's not. But we do have one thing.
What's that?
He reaches behind her ear and pulls it out, and that is like a bright, shiny, like gold coin. We do have a magic trick.
She's so confused. and kind of entertained, weirdly enough, but just it's the what face. She struggles to comprehend what just happened.
And it's, on her other side, just you say, "Oh my God, that's a ragabash for you. Look at that magic."
She takes another thoughtful sip out of this cup of really dangerous moonshine. It tastes pretty good though. Just kind of looks over and this is like, that was pretty good. I'm not even mad.
If you can find the gold and things in life, Charlotte Sullivan, then you eventually, semily, probably, occasionally, be a happy person.
You know what? It kind of startles the most awkward laugh out of her because let's face it, that's pretty straight up. She can't be mad at that. That sounds pretty accurate, really.
And as Charlotte laughs, it's like, hey, 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 hey.
Yeah, Quinn's like,
It's fucking contagious. The weird Irish laughter. What the
yeah,
fuck?
Maria
Scottish
starts
laughter.
laughing. Maria starts laughing as well as Leaf just looks over at you like, what the fuck? Doing something together, just like, what?
She's the worst part is she's still kind of tear streaked, and it's that awkward hiccuping laugh. Like I'm not even sure what's happening, but this is better than crying.
There's just a minute of just everybody laughing.
It's the furious look on,
What
and
should
thinks
I
she's lost her fucking mind.
Huh? You're looking at me? That's what you're doing. Huh? Oh, you want to look at me like that, do you?
Please tell me he's actually doing that.
Internally, as he catches
Damn
the
it!
side eye. Hey, don't look at me like that. Trying to comfort a woman here, you fucking bitch.
I wish she was doing it out loud. That'd make her laugh for real. Oh my god. Oh.
All right then. So internally that happens, and he'll just lean over to Steve very quietly. Charlotte could probably hear it. Doesn't look at her because he knows this kind of shit. You don't look at the person you're talking about or anything like that. Just act casual. It's just that slight glance and his show. The rage for in him just like, hey, what you fucking staring at, you piece of shit. And just kind of leans over to Steve. Steve.
Leans over. What, Alistair? I'm comforted and grieving woman.
I know you're doing very well, Steve. You're doing a fantastic job. I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you.
The best part is that for Charlotte, they're not whispering. Like they're having a full
They're just right over her fucking head.
I'm really proud of you, Steve. You're doing a fantastic job, right? But
thank you. I'm very well experienced with dealing with grieving women, Alistair.
You know what? I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all, Steve. I don't. But the judgmental bitch looking at it from over there.
Oh, which one? What?
What?
The
one.
Just like a slow head turn as they look at the Furies.
I see which one I mean now.
Which one? They're both looking at us weird.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one on the right. On the left, just a bit bemused, a bit.
She looks like she shit herself.
She does. She looks like she's just shit her pants. She looks really uncomfortable.
Do you know her?
I don't know her.
There's like weak giggling happening into the hanky at this point. She's got her face covered, but.
Meanwhile, we don't fight at funerals.
Just lean over. What? We'd never fight a funeral.
It's not how things are done.
Nope. Why, who's fighting? She'll look over, like, around. She takes, like, an idle sip of her wine.
This is how Neri learns that her cousin might have been talking to herself there for a minute. Because she is target locked on the Fianna.
Stare over. Stare back. Stare over. Stare back. Over. Back. Leans into her cousin. That's pretty much what she does.
You're looking at me now, are you?
Are they thinking about fighting people?
I don't think that he thinks I can hear him.
Which one?
The beard.
Oh. She puts her feet up. Like, doesn't put her feet up on the table, but leans back. Oh, he is staring. What's he saying? Just look over.
I'm not sure.
Steve. Steve.
What?
Steve. All right. All right. We don't fight, all right? We're not going to fight.
I didn't.
I'm just
Gordon,
saying. I know.
I'm not fighting.
Just
I
saying.
am not Kieran. I am not Kieran.
I know you're not caring, but I know what you like. We're not fighting, right? Not unless we're provoked.
I never said we were going to fight. I am
ain't.
dealing with a
Just-
grieving woman here.
I know
Alistair.
that. You're doing a fantastic job.
Sage nod.
Right. Yeah, you are. I'm proud of you.
Besi-
Oh.
Besides, I'm not going to start a fight unless they get started a fight.
That's all right then. I'm just making sure. Reiterating the fact. That's why I'm here.
Are you going to start a fight?
I'm not going to start a fight. No. No.
Really? Nods to himself.
Not yet.
What are you going to start a fight with?
I'm not starting a fight with anybody.
What are you going to start a fight with?
I'm not telling. No.
Who?
Just your mate.
Looks over. Oh.
No. I'm not starting a fight. Steve, listen to me now. Steve. Hey. And slaps the
What?
side of his cheek. Listen.
What?
I see the look in your eyes, Steve. No fighting.
I don't fight at funerals, Alistair.
I know we don't fight at funerals. But you best fight at my funeral. Or else I'd be really mad with you.
Transports over to the Black Fairies. We're not going to fight at the funeral.
It is not proper for enlightened sisters to fight at funerals.
Nope. No matter how fucking tempting it is to fucking punch them in the face.
Or crass. Or annoying. Or inordinately brightly colored.
That's
I know
right,
your
you
hair's
keep-
red, but their hair's redder and I don't like it.
That's right, you keep smiling at me, you fucking smarmy fuck.
Called me constipated.
Did he? You know, like, I see. My cousin got. Oh no.
I boot him in the ass hard enough, he's not going to shit right for a week.
My cousin got. Just like, you know, the rage force starts to just like manifest, like slowly twitching.
Oh, Steve. Steve. Steve.
I am dealing with a grieving woman here, Alistair. What is it?
I think she likes you.
Who? The grieving
But
woman? Well, of course she puts his arm
Oh,
around
not the
you.
grieving woman. She likes you anyway. She's lovely. Look at her. Pat on top of Charlotte's head.
Charlotte is in the weirdest place between grief and amusement that she has ever been in her life, and she's really struggling between like periodic bouts of giggling and leaking tears. This is a moment to be alive, let me tell you.
What's our attitude on the blonde one?
Which one, Charlotte? Yeah, well, take a sip of her wine. She'll look over and lean over. Whispers it as well. She and her little other friend, dead now, but they asked for our support. And when we gave it to them, one of our sisters was murdered by the Get. By Charlotte's friend. The same friend Charlotte asked to vouch for. She'll whisper it into her cousin's ear. That's our opinion of Charlotte. Well, my opinion at least. Timmy, since her sister's death, well, you can imagine how she's taking it.
All due respect here, Alpha, but their greatest sin was being caught. You do something like that, you don't get caught doing it.
It was what was said after, not the actual murder itself. Turns over very coldly, preaching new ideals while clinging onto the chains of a tradition.
Who gives a speech after a murder?
She did it before the murder.
Who gives a speech at a murder?
We get to. Layla Alexandros was many things, but she did not deserve that.
I don't know the whole story of what went on.
She killed the Get. The Woldsmore people are a far more vicious crowd than these, slaughtering anyone at will. They planned to take revenge for what it was and then go out into the wild and die. And hollow words murdered her, and then preached about a new ideal of what our Alpha believed in while murdering her.
I assume we took satisfaction.
Juno died fighting the war. Artemi did not raise a blade to her.
Is she the type of person that needs a nudge or just not to know?
My Alpha is many things. But my Alpha, she takes a breath, was waiting to see would the Get turn up at her door.
I don't mean disrespect, but the different houses have their ways.
They do. She turns. But you're more than welcome to question her on it.
I didn't know you disliked me that much.
Artemi's been a good Alpha. Sometimes we can't all fight and butcher everything. Then we'd be no better than them. Would we?
It's a bit of a sneer.
Smirks at her. Besides, it's much more satisfying to be right with these people. Leans back. Look at their faces. They really can't stand it. She does a little finger wave at the Fianna.
I think I've seen what I'm going to see.
What's that?
She gestures around. They're drunk. Soon they'll be full and asleep.
Just nod. If you want to go, sister, I don't mind.
I need to learn these woods. Sooner rather than later.
Artemi usually stays up in the high clearing. Points up north.
I'll steer away from it.
Really? Why is that?
Her sister only died weeks ago. She's in mourning. Be disrespectful.
Well, look at that, cousin. Someone who's actually treating my alpha with respect. Pats her cheek.
Lost her sister.
You'd
Come
be
now.
surprised. You'd be surprised what people have been doing here.
Yes, well, we're not savages.
We're not.
No. She'll finish when she's good and ready.
My other packmate, my Theurge, Forgotten Earth, she usually in the Umbra. You'll find her.
All right.
Calliope's using the public housing. With Melanthe. Cora, well, you'll hear her before you see her.
The Calliope.
Yes.
What happened to the other one?
Lyra?
I know
went
what
up north.
happened to... But she went further up there.
Nods. We haven't heard from her since. Like I said, there's some business you need to hear, but not for these people.
Obviously.
It'll require your auspice, actually. She pats her on the shoulder.
Until then, I think I'll go seek out this forgotten earth.
You'll find her eventually in the Umbra. She usually sleeps there.
All right. Until then.
Just raises her glass.
And Yolana slinks off.
Black Fury number 1 escapes.
Eventually, fucking bushy hair McGee arrives. Walks up to fucking Charlotte. You know, looks like she's actually covered in dirt and muck as well, all over her fucking stuff.
Dirt and muck?
Mm-hmm. Looks like she just walked off a battlefield.
Yeah, let's be fair. Charlotte and McDuncan aren't looking so hot either. So, actually, I guess the other two aren't either. We're all looking kinds of ways.
Speak for your fucking self. Fabulous over here.
Yeah, just kind of around, and Cora is
That.
everything. So,
Saying I don't look fabulous, Charlotte. Is that it?
Charlotte is not making these observances out loud, sir. Sir. It's just one of those things where there's like a blink of confusion and like the look down at herself and a glance around at like the Lawless and McD and like, oh. But yeah, she'll even hold out a hand to Cora as she comes over because Cora is everything that is good.
Hi. Does the awkward smile like, hey.
It's okay. I think I'm running out of tears. You're good.
Oh, no, well, I have more for you.
You?
Seeing as like we're totally not friends and all, I had my beta check and she has passed through safely.
Oh, yep, she was right. The eyes just like well up all over again. Cora's getting pulled in and hugged.
It's the hug, gives her the like, yep. Pat of the hair.
Just slowly, as the two are hugging, as a slowly descending handkerchief into the front of Charlotte's face. So,
Charlotte's handkerchief situation is refreshed.
His bones alright? Do you know? He hasn't
She kind of glances over to where Bones has been sitting and finally just kind of blinks a few times and just is flat out honest and it's like, I don't know.
Bones is not there.
She looks over and says that and then finally kind of looks around like, what? Because he was there a minute ago, she was sure of it. Really big, kind of hard to miss.
She was Koro's not. He's probably gone to his den. I should let you, stares at the Fianna handling her handkerchief repeatedly, let you get back to whatever this is.
What?
Nothing?
What?
No, I didn't say anything.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Alright then.
Just nods.
Thanks,
I
Cora.
just- Wanted you to,
Means a lot. Thank you.
nods. Yep, now I'm gonna go and make sure everyone doesn't fall apart and die. So I will be over here doing that.
Little nod, lets her go.
The big bushy hair bounces as she's walking. I imagine the other Black Fury will see it as well. That is fucking bushy.
Oh, curses! Bob was up away from the computer.
I
One second.
missed the bubble.
She's nice.
She is. She's really nice.
Hey. I like her. I like her a lot.
We should. Cora's good people.
Oh, hey, oh, that settles it. She's good people.
Absolutely. That is the very long and short of it. Just good people.
Because there's good people and there's good people.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between good people and good people.
Is there?
Now, I know where you're going with this, but don't hear me out. Good
Okay.
people.
What?
Like Quinn. Look at Quinn. Quinn's good people, aren't she, Quinn?
Fianna nods.
See, look at that. It's just the blank stare of Quinn with that mangled face. Look at that. Handsome devil.
Well, so fucking be it. Also good people.
Well, I'm going to sit here as long as you need me. And I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm doing 100%. Let's be honest, I do. As much as Steve likes to say I don't, I actually do. But I would like to say now that you're in a controllable sense of mind. I know you're staying in Maria's, that's that's good. You're around friends. Do you ever need some more coffee with that weird fandangle machine? Or a nice cut meal? Come let me know. I'll get Agnes on it. She makes a cracking shepherd's pie.
God, I can't imagine. How long has it been since I had shepherd's pie?
I don't fucking know. You
It's
tell
been
me.
a long time.
Well, I don't fucking know then, do I?
Thank you.
Well, you haven't turned up for it yet. You can thank me then.
Thank you for offering.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
She kind of glances around and is kind of assessing who has skulked off on their own, who's doing what. Are people setting up to brawl? Like, what is happening?
There has one or two fights that have broken out, yes.
Oh, God.
Wildfire knocked the shit out of Abel. Bet the fuck out of him.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Aren't they usually pretty
Ragnar,
even?
Yeah, but Wildfire just fucking smashed the fucking goblet over his head.
Oh, boy.
Ragnar has fought fucking, where is it? What's his name? Charles.
Oh, geez.
And
Poor
fucking-
Charles.
Charles like that. And fucking what other get do we have? Lily has remained eerily quiet until fucking Ragnar stumbled in, and then Lily pounced on him like a fucking serpent.
Oh, Jesus.
So
Ragnar
there's been
got
one or
too
two
close.
Yeah. The alphas sat there, waiting, watching, and eventually punched Siggy in the face.
Oh my god, what?
Just turns and fucking decks her for no reason.
Yep.
No warning, just Dexter.
Just imagine, looks left, side eye, looks right, side eye, looks at Siggy. Dunk!
Yep. Yeah, you have not seen Siggy Orgson get decked like that before. Siggy gets up and hits him back, but like I mean, like you're even kind of intimidated. Those hits would kill a man nearly.
Yep. That's terrifying.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, eventually Charlotte's just gonna kind of look around and be like, this is livelier than I can handle. Kind of glances out towards the lake again to see if there's even embers left.
Nope.
Oh god. Finally gives MacD McDonald fucking McDuncan a fucking pat on the shoulder and starts pulling herself up, glancing around, seeing who's around that's at least reasonably affiliated with her, or not, and maybe surprising and existing there, because Charles for one was a surprise.
Leaf is there reading. Well, not reading, just watching, being a Philodox. Like,
Making his Philo frown, like you do.
yeah. Calliope is under there.
That one is also a surprise.
Who else is there? Haley wouldn't go to this. She is not ballsy enough. Cassie is there.
Who?
Cassie.
Holy shit.
Extra rock music starts playing. No, Cassie is actually there. She's sitting there with... Well, Zori has gone in to fight, so Cassie's just sitting there on her own.
Oh, Cassie. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, in the state she's in, it's very possible that once she finally pulls herself up and thanks the Fianna, because they have been so nice to pull her mind off it at least a little. But we'll probably reach for either Maria or Leaf, whichever is closest. Kind of glancing around because she imagines that if Felix hears that there was a hole through her body, he will probably show up.
Felix and Freya are there. And Samantha.
Gasp.
Samantha's been a bit worried. She's staying close to the Alpha, actually.
No?
You'll spot that.
Very suited, sir. Very suited. No, she'll go actually, at least briefly, go over, sit by the twins.
Hang on. Yeah, I imagine just plonk in the middle.
It almost feels rude to plunk between them, really. But yeah, she will plunk down. And Felix will almost immediately have a hand kidnapped. It's just kind of the way of things.
He'll put his arm over her and all that. Freya will just look over,
hair half hiding the mangled face.
Hey,
Felix will just nod. Like, hi. Braille nod.
I mean, they might catch the concerned, like, or at least kind of confused glance if Samantha is looking peaked.
Yeah, Frail said. Frail lean over. Our mother is with.
I don't know if you cut out or if she just stopped talking.
Our mother is with with him.
Not as okay as he's letting on.
Felix shake his head. No.
Well, he's a lot better at it than I am.
He's a Galliard.
Fair. She will actually glance over to Felix. Like, Maria offered to let us stay over for a night. If you don't mind.
Sure, yeah, whatever you want. Just rubs his hand up and down her shoulder.
She hit it. She finally has the presence of mind to like actually like hike up the front of her shirt a bit and like glance down because she hasn't actually looked, but it doesn't even distantly hurt anymore. She felt the relief when it was healed. I'm not sure she's even aware exactly which person fixed it because there were like 3 Fianna hovering behind her at the time. But kind of glances down and finally, lets the shirt drop and looks up.
We'll look at it later, okay?
Yeah. It's just weird.
He just nods, doesn't say anything.
And honestly, I'm not sure Charlotte has it in her to make for much of the conversation. It's just one of those things where eventually she'll probably mumble something along the lines of like, "Worst part is knowing it's not even that I'm bad at this or she was bad at this. Just sucks."
Felix should just nod. What does, honey?
And yeah, between having people like Felix and Leaf and Maria around, she'll probably go reasonably quiet and be minimally conversational, but just looking around until
Frey seems nervous around some of the Fianna, actually. She's watching.
and eventually, Charlotte will just quietly, pitching her voice a little low because she's conscientious enough for that. Like, you okay?
Yep.
There's that little telltale expression of I'm pretty sure that you're totes lying to me, but I ain't gonna call it out because that's rude.
They're his people, so. I haven't seen most of them since,
None of them came to talk to you?
I mean, just look over. I couldn't talk to them.
Doesn't seem to really stop them.
No, but shakes her head.
There's finally just kind of like that conceding nod of like, not so much an I understand as I get where you're going and I'm not going to keep pushing it. She just kind of lets her go on it.
Felix said it would be a good idea if I came, so.
It's good to see you out.
Well, this was nice, so.
She was. I mean, she was also a jerk, but she was nice too.
Not to me.
Good. Kind of idly rubs her fucking stomach. It's like, there are pits and lines here now that I don't like.
Freya's,
She,
again, is just oddly antsy. Felix is supportive and helpful, but Freya's antsy.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
Mac Duncan can see it, like that silver-haired girl with covering half her hair, covering her face, is just watching you guys. Very twitchy. But for Charlotte, yeah, she's antsy as all shit.
Well, she's looking over and McDuncan catches, just smiles. Was that warm smile?
Her head shoots, so all he sees is just a mass of hair.
Well, he just carries on with what he's doing. It's like, oh, whoops.
I mean, they don't have any reason to be mad or upset.
Nope.
Just glance over, see what Leaf's up to. So he's still just kind of minding the brawls, or
Leaf is checking on Lily, essentially. Who's a bit
Okay.
more, you know what I mean.
she's lilying extra hard right now.
Mm-hmm.
She finally kind of glances off towards the Raven cabin. Wanna walk back with us?
Sure. She just stands up and starts walking off.
She lets her. She figured, if nothing else, walking over there looking like a support person would be pretty legit. She just kind of glances over to Felix.
Rights people.
I know.
As much as she's trying to move on, she's not over it yet. It's not your fault. Peck the side of her head.
I know. Just it's fucking awful.
It is. But well, come on. Let's go compare scars and let's see who's worse.
I think you're still winning. She fucking pops up. Got more gunshots than I do. But yeah, climbs up.
You just hear, yeah, I do. As he's walking off.
Then yeah, she'll just hitch up with him and meander back. A little less steady than she thought she'd be, not even because of the grief, but because that was a lot of moonshine.
And yes, would you like to end it there, guys?
I think so. Anything else you want to do, Tom?
Bagpipes.
Please let there be bagpipes.
Just burst out and start playing them.
Just like pulls them out from under the table. Ta-da! Fucking bagpipes. Very well. Are they flaming bagpipes? This is critical.
Don't know. Have to wait until he pulls them out to find out.
Damn it. All right. Until next time, we will let this somber occasion continue.